If you ask your parents about 1968, or if you're old enough to remember it yourself, you'll definitely find out that there was a movie called Bullitt starring Steve McQueen in a dark Highland green Ford Mustang. They chased a black Dodge Charger through the streets of San Francisco in what was an epic car chase, probably the best of all times. Now for 2019, Ford has released this. It is the Ford Mustang Bullitt Edition, and yes, it's going to be limited. With this car, they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the movie, and it's going to probably run only for 2019 and 20. Numbers are unknown. It depends on how many people are actually going to buy one, but it is globally available, which makes it really cool. And we all know that American muscle plus limited edition means really good resale value. So this car is already winning. Just don't start chasing anybody down the streets because the cops are not going to see what you see. And mark my word, once you're behind the wheel of this car, you will feel like you're Steve McQueen. It just feels like it's the old car. Everything about it is like so cool. There's an undeniable cool factor about this car. Before we talk about the styling, let's talk about what makes this more special than a GT Premium. Under the hood, you get the 5.0-liter V8 Coyote engine. However, you get a few goodies from the GT350. You get a really big intake, a higher flow intake manifold, and a larger 87mm throttle body. All that makes a difference in horsepower. This makes 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, which is 20 more horsepower than the regular GT. The exterior cues that make this kind of special is of course the color, which is the dark Highland green. You can also get it in black if you want, but really, why would you? There's absolutely no badging on the car, other than the Bullitt logo on the back. You get retro 5-spoke heritage wheels, red Brembo calipers, you get a nice chrome trim around the front grille that has absolutely nothing else resembling the original car, and you also get a rear spoiler delete, again to match the original. This car looks freaking hot, and if you don't agree with that, well, you probably have more in common with Stevie Wonder than you thought. Inside you get a cue ball shift knob, optional Recaro seats, and the Bullitt logo on the steering wheel. You also get a fancy customizable digital instrument cluster that has some nasty glare under certain circumstances, but overall looks really good, and it has lots of modes. It changes based on the driving mode, which makes it really cool. The active exhaust has 4 modes. I mean, come on, 4? You have quiet, normal, sport, and track. And quite frankly, all the modes except track are as useful as sunglasses at night. You don't need them in this car. Keep it in track, even on the street. That noise? Why would you ever shut up this car? This is like the highlight. This is why you buy this one. This sounds so good. The Magna ride dampers are also controlled by the 6 driving modes, which include Normal, Sport Plus, My Mode, Drag, Track, Snow, and all over again. The My Mode is actually really cool, but you can't fully customize everything. You start from a base preset mode and then you can change certain things, but let's say if you're in Sport Plus, you can't put comfort steering. I don't know really why you would, but it's not 100% customizable, but it's pretty cool. At least it lets you do something like have the track exhaust on all the time, which is really what you need. You also have some neat track apps and toys, like line lock and launch control, and you can even customize the launching RPMs. I had the opportunity to do a single quarter-mile run, in which I launched from 4,000 RPM and hit 100 kilometers an hour in 5.6 and completed the quarter mile in 13.3 seconds. Yes, they're not the best numbers, but that was my one and only try. So imagine if I had a few practice runs. You also get some various built-in performance and timer stuff, which is really cool, but I'm pretty sure it kind of beautifies the results. Probably kind of what this car does with the fuel economy, because it claims about 14.5 liters per 100 kilometers on average. However, when I went to the pump and I refueled, it felt more like on the 17-ish range, but whatever. The infotainment system is the Sync 3, and it's simple, quick, and very usable. It has CarPlay, and that's basically all I need. Special note is that you do get a heated steering wheel, because when you get the Recaro seats, you have to kiss your heated seats bye-bye. As standard in Canada, you get a very good B&O sound system, which sounds really good. But then again, why would you listen to music in this car? All the music you need is coming out from the exhaust. So, it's great to have a good sound system, totally useless in this car. The great thing about having the Magna ride suspension is that in normal mode, it's actually really comfortable over bumps. I mean, this is a really rough patch of road I'm going through. Like, these bumps are ironed out. I mean, obviously you feel something, but like for a sports car of this caliber, this thing is freaking awesome. I mean, it's comfortable. On the highway, it's actually a very pleasant long-distance cruiser. All you need to do is shut up the exhaust so it doesn't drone, but yeah, overall, it's pretty cool. And then you can also do stuff like that. Sorry. When you put the dampers in Sport Plus or Track, that's when the car really starts to shine though. And I have to tell you that this Mustang is actually really capable. Like in the hands of an experienced driver, the speed you can carry through the corners is actually really impressive. If you're an inexperienced driver, you really need to respect it and take it a day at a time, because if you don't believe me, go to YouTube, search for Mustangs leaving cars and coffee. See how many get wrecked every single weekend. A couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to drive this around the Monticello Motor Club track, and I have to tell you, it's really good. I mean, it turns in very nicely. If I have a complaint, it would probably be the steering. I mean, the feedback is pretty limited. It kind of, I don't know, it needs precise input. This is not a sloppy car. I mean, if you try to take this car sideways and then drift, then the steering would probably not be your ally. However, the Torsen limited slip differential in the back would definitely be. The only transmission option you can get in the Bullitt is the 6-speed manual, and that's a very good thing because the manual is actually a really nice gearbox. The shifter is precise, gates are great, the clutch is actually not bad at all. You have to get used to it a little bit because it grabs right at the end, but that's all fine. And it has the automatic rev matching technology, which is good. I mean, I'm used to doing it myself, so sometimes you might hear in the video there's like a double rev match, like a vroom vroom. That's because I do one in the, see? I do one in the car does one. It's a habit I can't stop. All right. But yeah, I mean, if you want, you can switch it off and then it's not a problem whatsoever. I have to admit that the one thing that really impressed me is how there's absolutely no rattles or squeaks. I mean, the interior, the materials are, wherever they can, they made them soft to the touch. There are some hard, scratchy plastics on the door cards, but on this side, like wherever you actually touch, they've made an effort to make it nice and soft. There's like nice stitching and stuff. I mean, I'm really digging this interior. Out of the Challenger and the Camaro, I think I'd take this. The key for actually really enjoying this car is go on YouTube and watch that scene from Bullitt if you haven't, because it's actually pretty funny. Like they're like extra hubcaps flying off the Charger, stuff like that. But the scene is really cool. This car really makes you feel part of the movie, and that's pretty special and hard to achieve. I mean, they've done the exact correct stylistic approach, things like elements, whatever, to the car. It really submerges you into the feeling that you're part of that movie and you're partially as cool as Steve McQueen, because nobody can be as cool as Steve McQueen. But yeah, I mean, they've done a great job. The car, you really need to give it. I mean, you have to work it hard. You have to work it towards the red line to really get the most out of the engine's performance and the sound of the exhaust. So it doesn't have that low-end oomph that comes, let's say, from the LS family of motors, but you know what? Work it hard and it's going to be really rewarding. Bottom line, if you want to buy something special and you like muscle cars and you like something that's very livable and very nice,
this car's amazing.
You can take the Cars and Coffee, leave like a gentleman and don't smash it. This car is $57,000 as equipped in Canada, and it's about 53 in the US. It's worth it. I mean, it's worth it because it's gonna retain most of that value because it's a limited edition car. I don't think it's gonna appreciate because it's not that special, and plus there've been some Bullitt attempts before, but for sure it will be more desirable in the market and it will hold its money better than, let's say, a regular Mustang GT Premium, because this includes everything from the Premium and the Performance Pack Level 1. So what you get is actually really, it's a lot of car for the money, I'll tell you that. I mean, overall, out of 10, I'll give it 9, just because it encapsulates that Steve McQueen coolness, and it does it very well.
Perfect.